actually intend to work without the contractors and the consultants. Over 120 were in attendance.
We'll get to spotlight some of the projects that are ongoing in the state, but for clarity also,
yes.
I'd like to know, when you mentioned some roads having more than one contractor or having more than two consultants, and the people begin to imagine, is this about splitting resources, or it's about empowering some persons for them to just be in the scheme of things? Perhaps it's a political patronage for some persons.
Let me cite one to you, like Ijoka Road. Ijoka Road, the first phase of Ijoka Road till Nori, that one was handled by Lifakino. And then, at that particular time, Lifakino was almost completing the project. While the second part, that one's from where Lifakino stopped, down to Oluwatuyi, roundabout to Osrc Road there, link straight to High Court. That one will be handled by FCC. And then you cannot see that particular stretch of roads. And at the same time, the consultant working with them, it's only one stretch. But to ensure that this particular road get quickly completed, that was why the government then gave it to, that's 9 kilometers from Edori down to that place, and then from there, that 9.something kilometers, from that point down to Osrc Road, and that almost about, I think about 8 kilometers thereabout, and then dualized road. And then these are one of the things that I just made reference to. And then there are some other contractors like Oda. It's only one that is being handled by Dutchmont. And then we have projects as well in Bokoda. We have at Ogbagiakoko.
We'll break that down. You're spotlighting Ogbagiakoko.
Yes, we have a lot of projects like that.
We'll get to that. But the reality for some residents of Ondo State, just like perhaps you mentioned that why government splits some of this contract is to ensure that they quickly get completed. But for some say, the reality is not what you've said, because you find some roads that have been handed down to two contractors, but they're not working concurrently.
You may observe in that way, but by the time
that is what is evident in some places.
Let me just...
You find some parts completed and you find other parts that and they tell you that it's two contractors, this one has done his own, it's left with this one. So what happens to that?
Very, very good. By the time Lifakino started, that one is just only single lane. Before he completed that, FCC started his own. That one is dualization. The volume of work on dualization is different from single lane. And then what the dualization actually involves, it involves compensation. It involves of all carry out enumeration. Enumeration of all the properties along the axis, which they did from High Court, junction here, down straight to Oshile roundabout, straight to Oluwatuyi roundabout, and then there's another bypass as well that leads to St. Luke. And then from that angle now, from that roundabout, goes straight to Joka Road, that's Okeya area. Then all those areas, they have to pay the compensation. And we have to do compensation, we have to split them. In fact, that angle was even split to 4. And then now comparing with another contractor handling almost like a virgin area. The volume of compensation from Edori to that, that one is minimal. In fact, it's not even up to one phase on the other side. And then you cannot compare the scope with that particular one. That is one. And then in the process of paying compensation, there was another challenge. Some of the occupants took the government to court. That then the government actually had to attend to that. And then that particular one was, so that at the time they took government to court, there's no way we can do anything. And then we resolved that. These are part of the things that actually brought delay to Joka Road.
Is it? I'll let you land on that.
Yes, I'm still talking.
Of course, it's not about yes. But of course, it's about really a lot of question around people taking ownership of government projects. Some say if government had consulted widely,
yes,
so that told the people the intention for the construction of some roads, like you mentioned, the Joka Road, the issue of compensation should not even have been a reason for a setback in the first place.
That's one thing that
is it that government does not take some of this?
No, it's not that way. The publicity was made, the awareness was made for more than 3 months. The government actually announced on radio and television, even on your station here, and then enlightening people that this is the intention of the government. want to dualize this road from this axis to this other axis. All the people along that particular corridor should certainly simplify and bring their papers. And then, which government was actually attending to. Because of the quantum of that aspect, they have to split it into 4. And then attend to them one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. And as they were attending, yes, during the time of our former governor, as they were attending, and then cleared, and then in the process, there are some people that do not even understand what we call compensate and public, what we call acquisition. When they're talking about acquisition, if government is saying it's acquiring land or properties for public interest, there's nothing the people can actually do. What they will need to do is just to compensate them.
The compensation, are they usually enough?
The compensation was fair enough. That was why we said compensation. Not that the government is buying. If the government is saying it's buying, it's different from compensation. There is a difference between compensating the owner of property and then buying outrightly. Okay, if you say they are buying, the person may say, okay, the consideration I have for you on this property is X naira. And the government may say, okay, for compensation, we'll pay you X naira minus Y. And then that is compensation. Well, they value us as well. They are in the ministry. They will value the property. They will look at it. Not that they gave them peanut. No. But the thing is that where the disagreement will come in is this. If the owner of the property said, I want to sell my property for 20 million naira, and then by the time the valuers observe that for compensation, this amount of money you are expecting may not be up to that. Land belongs vested in the governor. And then all land vested in the governor. So that if you are acquiring the property on it, will assess and will pay. And will still pay marginal something on that particular land. So that everybody was actually compensated fairly. But when we look at the amount of consideration, some may be thinking that, the amount of money I should be expecting should be more than this. That one is for every person. Which is that's a force of market.
Let's provide a broader perspective to this conversation by really even understanding the advantage of the position that you have. The major projects or the current projects that we have on the ground in Ondo State, perhaps I know you have a lot on your fingertips that you can mention. What are some of these projects in the first place across the 3 senatorial districts?
Yes. Let me just start with that. I've mentioned Ijoka Road, I've mentioned the Oda Road. I need to mention the flyover at that this Shagari, Yarobulem crossing from Yarobulem to Shagari axis. We have projects at Akotogo. We just even awarded that one. That one was just recently awarded. Because we awarded at the Southern Senatorial District. We have projects at Ogbagi. And then there are some projects now that we just rolled out across all the 3 senatorial districts. All the 3 senatorial districts. I brought some of these particular things so that I can just mention a few. Because, for instance, like in Nakure here, the Kajolas to Davok is a part of the new project that we are commencing. And then Oweakala, Oshile, Okearo, Agundoye, Ayeyemi Street in Ondo, St. Stephen, and also in Ondo, and then bypass for Bogi Street, Nakure, UBA, Waek Road, the stream section, Talabaka, and then Isolo, Akoshile, Ayeloro Plaza, Kujebu. These are part of the new roads that we're just rolling out. And then Marono Road in Olubukun in Igapo, Fagu Road, Valentino in Ondo, and Oka Inas Gate dualization. All those ones in Ondo. That one is just still within the central. And then continue as well in the central, getting to Ayeyemi, Agegule, we go to Ednari. Also have projects at Ednari. As I look at you,
a long list.
And there's a long list. And then now let's go to Nigeria. We have the link road that actually linked the Amazing Love to Mega Primary School Road in Bokoda, Akimbua Road in Bokoda, Larada Street in Bokoda, College Road, Gurubene. These are popular roads in those areas.
Of course.
Very good. And then Atigere area to the palace. And then we move to all the 4 Akokos. Talk about the Oloku Street in Ekare, Ewaro, Ayegule Road, Ishua Akoko, and it's Ekpemi Road, Ekanile Road, Onyimo, Oshileri Highway Road, and then all those areas. And then by the time we also consider the Okitupa Irele, talk about the Adeyemi Olaoluwa Street in Okitupa, rehabilitation of Alibalogun, rehabilitation of Eringe Ayika bypass, rehabilitation of a way street in Okitupa, and then Odo Jomo quarters. Yes, right. Reputation there. So, and then Okitupa, and then we cut across everywhere.
At this list,
now, even
there's
another one
for residents to take a look at.
Owo and Ose. For the fact that the former governor did a lot of roads infrastructure in Owo. There are some areas that we consider so needful that we still have to bring in.
Despite the fact that some
you've
commentaries.
Ose and what do you call it?
First of all, without commentaries, you talk about the former governor doing so many roads in Owo.
Yes.
And we've also had commentaries that say it appears to be over concentration of a kind, and now you're still mentioning more. What are some of the reasons for this?
Well, there are some things that is very. Let me say it's clear. It's clear. I wouldn't say that maybe it's that's also on sentimentalism. Let's put that one aside. But it was true. Even our people, they boosted of that. More than 85 to 90% road construction in Owo. But there are some certain roads there that are very critical for development that we cannot actually put aside. We have to as well.
We'll come to conversation around what determines which road is critical and which one is not. I made reference to when you assumed office,
yes.
When you were inaugurated March the 1st.
Yes.
Particularly, just to lay great foundation for this conversation. At that time when you assumed the duty as a special advisor to the governor on infrastructure, lands, and housing, how many road projects did you meet ongoing? Perhaps you can also tell us in terms of kilometers of roads that were ongoing and the ones that perhaps you'd, as an engineer, would say they have been abandoned.
The number of roads that or let me say the number of projects.
Okay.
The number of projects that I inherited that time was up to 14. So I'm actually getting because we have some roads in Alabaka being handled by Immobiliary, one of the contractors. Yeah, I remember. There was some roads being handled by Elementary. A lot of roads in Nakuru as well.
So you made about 14 road projects?
They're about
that were ongoing?
Yes, they were ongoing. There was, what I mean ongoing is this. The project had been awarded. And then some contractors left site. But once the project is still, once the particular project is still invoking, that is still going on, definitely it's part of the project that we inherited. Whether the contractor was on site or not on site.
How many kilometers does all of this translate into?
It will be more than 60 kilometers.
Across the state?
Across. Then, ongoing, far more than 60 kilometers. And then, the one already completed there are some that have completed that we are working on the commissioning. We have about 8 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 7 kilometers.
Yeah, this 8, 7, 10.
There are some, for instance, like in the southern senatorial, the roads, these roads that, let me get this location, the name of those particular area at times.
Of course, I imagine the number of things you need to cope with as part of your position. Perhaps if you can give us that detail at this time.
Yes.
We'll get to spoke like
that. We'll certainly get there, and the road has been handled by RCF.
You seem to know some of the contractors even down the roads.
RCF, no. RCF, that is this road in Akoto. Okay. Forgotten the name now.
So, when the 2024 budget was passed, that took time out to take a look at what the budget says. It says the budget of economic resilience, a sum of over 222 billion was earmarked for capital expenditure. And I begin to imagine, right from the time you assumed office, you can give us details of some of the new projects that came on board. You mentioned about 14 road projects that were ongoing as at the time you came in, and You assumed office March the 1st. So for the start of this year, how many road projects did we have, initiated by the local area that you had mentioned?
Yes, that's what I just told you the other time.
In figures, I know you've mentioned a lot about some of the ones that have just been initiated, but perhaps in number of kilometers.
Figures in the new projects now, for instance, like Akotogo Road, that one is a 27.9, almost 28 kilometer road.
That has just been initiated.
That has just been awarded. Almost about 2 months ago that we've done that. And then at the last council, we awarded another over 60 kilometer roads that will cut across all the 3 senatorial districts. Getting to Oksupazis, Irile, Ilage, Owo, Ose, all the 4 Akokos.
So in the 2024...
Akure North, Akure South, Ondo, and what do you call this area very close to Ambolon Road. And then there are some roads as well, like Fagbo Road, that we're already working on that will bring that particular road up again.
All right, we'll take a break. Let's catch up some breath. Special advisor to the governor on infrastructure, lands, and housing. We'll take a break on State of the State, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation around the Road Revolution Initiative in those states, and of course, spotlight some of the issues that are also concerned to residents. Please stay with us. Thank you so much for rejoining us. It's still State of the State on Osrc television, and our focus this evening is on the Road Revolution Initiative in Ondo State. And of course, we have with us in the studio the special advisor to the governor of Ondo State on infrastructure. It's Joseph Babaola. We'll continue the conversation, special advisor, by taking a look at specifics at this time. I know you've done a lot by mentioning some of these roads that we have across the state. But let's now move to specifics. When you take a look at the one that's closer home here, is the Orita Obele Ipisha road. It appears contractors did not even appear, because if you go just outside here, perhaps you take your time, now that you're in this environment, to take a look at that road and where things, the state of things currently. Contractors have left sites, especially on the Orita Obele, Okiodu, Ipisha. What are the issues really, and when are they returning?
Thank you so much. Very soon they will get back to site.
How soon?
As I said, very soon. The reason why I'm saying this one
the
is
people want specifics.
Yes. I said very soon.
So what are the issues?
The thing is this: when this road was awarded to them, the cost of material then, like cement, like granite, for the stone base, the stone dust, cement and other things, the asphalt. When you look at that particular cost, after just few months, not even up to a year, that they got the award, the price just skyrocketed up. Initially they thought that something they can manage. When the cement was 3,500, and gradually cement moved to 4,500 to 5,000, they were still working. Really, it's not only Orita Obele. The same thing happened to some of the contractors, like.
But he who feels it knows it.
I said the other time that on that road, what other contractors here are also facing, that's what other roads are also facing. And the same thing with FCC, the same thing with elementary, the same thing with Lake Fakino, in handling some roads in Alabaka. The same thing when you get to that particular road, it's not as well working, because they couldn't raise certificate. Because if they raise certificate based on the details of award given to them, their certificate will certainly tend to negative. negative. And then they have to hold on. They've sent letters. They've sent letters which you have actually attended to. And then before I even came aboard, they have started writing. And then we have attended to that letters, even to a level that some of our directors, they moved to the neighboring states. We have our own data, and then to actually present. And then we have assessed that. There was a committee set up. And then there's an agency as well in charge of prices of those particular things, like we call it this ODPP, this is a public procurement bureau. And then they set up a committee, also involved the other stakeholders. Then that particular agency coordinated that meeting. And they've had meetings, they've concluded it. And then in a very short time, they will release report. But then release report, all the contractors, every one of them, started to turn in their certificate. That is a major area that actually caused that delay. And immediately that one is addressed. But that is a thing that would let us know the amount of money we're going to pay them. Once we have ascertained the quantum of work they have done aside, and then the corresponding amount of money they're going to pay, so that they won't say they are short paid. We'll look at it together. Okay, this is what we have done. And then this is the same that we'll look at the price index. We'll look at the time the thing went up and the time that we'll give you award. And I've told all the contractors, if you observe that you have been holding government money, there are some that government gave them money, even gave them loan on account, so that they can move. Yes, they said that they can move very well outside. And then there are, among those people that were giving people on account, some did a lot of work. And then who will value that? There are some that, okay, if you have collected payment on account, and we observe that the amount of money you have collected on payment account is not in tandem with the actual performance on site. Definitely, we will look at it. And then, so that it's not all the contractors that we say that government own them, and what amount of money government has actually given them earlier, payment on account to speed up. Some move up very well, and then we appreciate that. And then, but others that did very well, and then all these things will certainly pay their money. And that is the thing that happens as well on this axis. Auditor Bel something. Some could not raise certificate until we address this issue of upward review the prices. And I wish we already concluded. By the time we finish that, they will turn it as a certificate and will pay.
Is it a case of some of these contractors holding government back when you talk about they not being able to raise certificates in a way?
Well, we cannot blame them in that area. What I'm saying is, for instance, now, when the project was given to them, cement was 3.5 the text. And then, by the time they raise certificate, by the time they should be expected to raise certificate, cement already moved up to 5 floors, 6,000. And then, if they are raising certificate at that time, when the cost of asphalt almost getting to twice of the initial cost, there's no way they would have certificate that thing would not be negative. So that they have a point, we understand that. But anything that want to pay them in line with that, certainly must be in tandem with the approved rate that we actually consider. And I wish has a lot of factors to be considered before we say, okay, this is the rate that we're going to apply.
You agree with me that constructing roads,
yes,
it's a very delicate thing.
Yes.
As much as contractors could come on site to do jobs the way they like, not following the standards of specifications. Sometimes someone would even say perhaps specifications are usually even not correct in some instances. How then do you ensure quality for some of these road projects? All of these road projects.
Yes, thank you. Even on Sunday, immediately after the service on Sunday, I had to travel to the Southern Senatorial, that's to Ibokoda, to the road. There was a road I mentioned at that time, Ibokoda, Araramisi side. And then that road is about 32-kilometer road, handled by one of our contractors. And he did a fantastic job. He is connected by the Osrc. But there's another project there that by the time we look at the quality of work done there, we could tell them straight. Who told them that no, this is not in tandem with the quality of Ministry of Works and Infrastructure.
What's the quality of the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure?
Very good. That is, they themselves know it's already in the papers given to them. There is, for instance, now, if even starting from the hydraulic structures, that is, talking about drainages and other things, the mix of cement is 1, 2, 4. That is the minimum. You cannot say you are going below or going. Let me say divided by less is probably 136. No. That's 1, 2, 4. You may take 1, 1.5, 3. That's fantastic. That's why you see some of the drainages, the infect wall. If any vehicle, that is a vehicle that will have a problem. It's not even the drain. So the quality of that thing. And then let me just mention asphalt. These are scientific. And then, but if asphalt can be, we can say this asphalt is bond. That is, it has gone beyond the level of peradventure getting cool. Maybe the temperature of that thing is not the required temperature. There's required temperature that that thing must be before they started laying it. And if it's not going beyond that, it will affect the work. And I imagine, and at the same time, the equipment, the paper that we use to actually pave the asphalt, if the paper is not good, there's no way the quality of the road will be okay.
And I imagine that the special advisor to the governor on infrastructure, lands and housing cannot be in all of the projects at the same time where some of these activities on site have been carried out. Just like you mentioned,
I went there on Sunday. So I came back on Monday.
How do we now account for some of the things that have been perhaps done before you even proceed?
Thank you. You know, it is true that I cannot be in all the road at the same time, but we have officers there. We have consultants. So that it's not only the error of the contractor, even the consultant as well can be queried about it. Where were you? Because that was the reason why you were paid. Why you have been commissioned to handle that job? But another thing is this. Some of these contractors may do some things when the consultant was not even around. And when the staff was not even around. And then if they observe that thing, that is the penalty. All right. Because one of the thing I told them on that particular road is that they have to remove them. And then you cannot see. They have to evacuate all those areas, all the spoiled areas, they have to evacuate them. Okay. Completely how to relate.
Still talking about specifics now. That the issue around the Oda Road has become a sing-song for many residents, those who have had the opportunity to even come into those states and even leave.
But they are attacking the governor now. Have you been to Oda?
I've been there.
Where was that?
The quality of that road is also a concern for some residents. And that's why we want you to take a look at part of the feedbacks that we're getting on the state of the Oda Road. You talk about residents thanking the governor. Yes, they're seeing perhaps workers and contractors back on site and it's moving. But
they have not even left site since they have been working there.
But the quality is of a concern. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
It has been a long time that we are facing these challenges of this road. But now, we have seen that they have do work on it. But the major thing, what do you call it? This thing is too small, is too low. We need quality. We need inches. The one that is thick than this. That is what I want.
Thank you so much. Still State of the State, and just heard from a resident of Ondo State, particularly in the Oda axis of the state where there is an ongoing road project. And the woman commented on the quality of that road. What will be your response to that?
We've even had that. We've had that. And then, let me respond in this way. My people have been to that site. They've assessed the work done by the contractor. Though there are resident engineers there. There are some things that people need to understand. There are a design for every road. The design given to that particular road is not the kind of design that will actually be given to highway road. For highway, we may use double overlay, the binding cost and the wearing cost, because of the volume of traffic. The volume of traffic is the thickness of that road, of any road, is also a function of the traffic that will apply there. The design for that place is one overlay. Yes, it's one overlay. Yes, for that particular site. And then regular test was actually carried out because there's a department quality control. Before anything was actually done, anything, they will carry out the text, and the specified thickness probably followed. It's not really that the thickness, that thing must be as thick as this. That matters. But the quality of what was actually laid there. If it was not in tandem with the design, or does not correspond with the design, people will stop in.
So have you gone to check that?
I've been there. I've seen there.
And you say it's meets specification.
It meets specification. The area that will observe some things, that area will be communicated to the contractor.
What's that area? Perhaps the residents can also keep an eye on what is going on there. Because this is a woman who noticed something and spoke.
No, by the time they see the contractors working on site, if they observe anything, I thank God that they won't giving us feedback, which we actually appreciate. And then my people have been there, and then they have actually seen a lot of things. And then the areas, particularly the flow of water, how the water could get drained, but not as well as per se the thickness. The thickness have been properly texted, and the thing was actually okay. If it's not okay, that was the design given to that particular site. If it's a highway, probably where, for instance, let me just use Adeshida Road. You can't compare the volume of vehicles in Adeshida Road. Right? And if you are designing that thing, we'll look at as well the quality and also the thickness.
But you also imagine that the other axis of the state is also a developing area.
Yes,
movement and volume is going.
Look at that.
Going to really so that get to that area.
Yes, because of the mingled resources that we have to still maintain first course now on this. And then spread other thing on the other area. Let me just give you something. Use analysis. A road that will cost the government 9 billion naira. 9 billion naira. And then during this particular period of up for review, the project moves to 16 billion. And then we have to do. Can you compare? Look at the cost variance. And then the demand is so much.
And the worry would be, is the government not going to be sacrificing quality because of perhaps lack of finances?
I've answered that. If it's not okay, we'll have stopped in. That is the design we gave to the particular site. And it was texted and it was okay.
For some of the projects that
then they have said that we're talking about we want the road to be as thick as the airport.
I imagine she's a taxpayer.
Yes, all of us are taxpayers. She has the right to express it.
Of course.
If you are looking at the road, like for instance, like comparing the road from Airport Road to Abuja, to going inside Abuja, the thickness they will be looking at there. Look, we have done the necessary thing. The basis, the foundation, the stone base. The thickness of the particular thing were properly texted.
I'm hoping she will get, or she's seen this program and of course get to
so that the quality is actually okay.
We'll get
and then the regular test was carried out there and the test was okay.
All right, we'll get to continue that engagement because that's part of our responsibility to also ensure that we get the people's feedback to government so that we have some clarification just like you've done for us. The issue of Ikmisha is also, though it's close to Rita Beleye, but it's also in the mix.
Yes.
And I'm thinking perhaps it's
the same thing. It's the same thing. We never will clear this of Osrc, that of Ikmisha, that of Alabaka area is the same thing. By the time we ask them to turn it as a certificate, we'll pay them, all of them fully.
How soon? Very soon, right?
Very soon.
Okay.
Because as I said at that time,
you don't want us to work with the timeline.
The report, if the report will not get out, I think the report will get out next week. Latest, finally. By the time the report gets out, yes, we'll now be going to apply those things. And then we'll tell the contractors to move back and then come back. They should turn in the certificate and we'll move on.
Ijoka Road.
Ijoka Road.
Because these are flagship roads, you say, that's been ongoing for years.
The challenge that Ijoka Road had, that's what I say had.
That's the result?
Yes. We've spoken to the contractor, we discussed. He had some challenges, and then which clearly have been sorted out. And then, by the grace of God, that road, because the area that will take time, the road structures, the artwork, everything, all those things are almost completed. So that it's just more area to the roundabout. As we're just coming from Idani today, to look at that side, still it's protected that area.
For the other road.
Now let me just finish this Ijoka road. By the time we conclude the asphalt, the thing that we just next is the stone to stone base it. And then this thing which can be done within 6 weeks. Within 4 to 6 weeks. Get it all through. And then by the time you
I'm particularly interested.
In fact, the person gave us a kind of commitment, which I am bold to express based on what we have discussed together. The kind of commitment that he gave to us. You know, he has been on that particular project for almost about 6 years.
Of course.
Yes. And then our governor, as I said at that time, is so committed to fix all these road infrastructures.
How soon? What's that commitment? What is that commitment?
Yes, before you can evaluate the volume of power work still remaining there. But before election, you will complete the project. And you will have it.
That's before November.
Before November, we will complete the project.
The Ijoka road project.
Yes.
What about the other road project?
Other road project very soon. Other road project will be completed before Ijoka road.
So that's like next month, next 2 months?
Maximum in the next 6 weeks. Next 6 weeks to 8 weeks, or that one will be completed.
Let's have more.
And then the same thing as well with the Ijoka road.
Let's add more pace. Special advisor to the governor on infrastructure, lands and housing. Let's add more pace to this conversation. The first flyover in Akure, it's ongoing. What's the state of things there?
I wouldn't know the last time you got there. We started mounting the beams, and then by the time they finished the beams, both sides, which they have completed now. Now remaining one that will actually cover that stretch of the road, which will take about 8 weeks. After that particular 8 weeks, he has already spent about 3 to 4 weeks. And we are still waiting for, so that in the next 4 or 5 weeks, that one should have be okay.
When is that project going to be delivered?
The project is supposed to be delivered by this month. August.
I imagine there's a but.
Yes, that was a but. He also made reference to the issue of upward review of rates. But the privilege that he had, the contractor, the privilege that he had is different from others. Ton of iron is 1.3. I started buying that. Part of so that by the time those things, by the time a long stretch of that beam. What next is the decking and then other road furnitures. Within the next 2 months, you will actually get through that project.
I'll say this.
And I have to say, before election, that project has not been delivered.
I'll save the response to this question to the end of this program. Yes. I will, in the future, going forward, how does government intend to manage all of this review in prices, today, high costing, materials and all of that? I'll save your response to the end of this program, but let's take a look at the issue of potholes. I remember a few weeks ago, a statement came out that government was going to fix potholes across the state. I wouldn't know if that has really started or how far it has gone.
We have gone far on that. Across the whole senatorial. Yeah.
But that particular portion, social advisor, has been a recurring one when it comes to the issue of potholes in those states.
Very, very good. You are right. You are right. We have taken a critical analysis, studying that area. What is actually the problem?
What is the problem?
What's actually the problem? Well, if I'm going to analyze I can only analyze some things I will explain to you.
So we got the solution.
We have got it. The volume of water in that area. When you look at the drainage channels, is small compared to the volume of water, and then the seepage of that thing is affecting the road. darkness, and then between all those things, now be creating purpose, and then everything just begins to be.
You want to give the people your words now on this program.
We have assessed
that once this road is
because that initial one was just a fair or just a remedial work. Because considering the amount of money that we required, and then we ensure that we fix the thing properly, so that for at least for the next 4 or 5 years, they will say, this road has already started peeling up again. Because almost every year the thing already that as is, so that we address that. And then the potholes, we've started in Akure, get to the Federal Secretariat, get to Amudipe area, yes, get to CBN area.
Has bypass been fixed?
Get that bypass they have started cutting today.
That is also an area.
Yes.
Is
so
defined. Is it a case of trial and error? Because you mentioned the case of Ondo. When it's done, you now assess again if it will still need more work. Are we doing a trial?
The other thing to salvage, just to come to salvage the situation. And then the thing that happened as well in bypass, I remember, I think one of the contractors got there. It was only brought in just to salvage that thing.
Okay.
The thing was not properly done.
Our time is almost out.
Which we have realized, we have actually let them people know that this thing is to actually.
Our time is almost out. Special advisor today, but we have comments from our Facebook, because this program is streaming live on Facebook.
Yes.
It says from Oladoyi on Facebook. It says, please remember us at Laje Odo Road. Are you aware there is anything calling for attention at that area?
We've been there to Laje Odo Road. They will get a response very soon.
Very soon.
Yeah.
I imagine Oladoyi is looking for something.
What I say very soon. So that by the time we clear this one, the next one, like you certainly coming.
Oladoyi.
So we have a lot of, if you look at the road, the infrastructure deficit in the state, you'll be amazed.
How much is it?
Why
should one be amazed, really?
The reason is this: consider the volume. For the next 8 years, if you are only working on roads, we won't complete it. Even with all the amount of money coming to the state. And then we have to attend to, the government have to attend to other things.
But this one that you have started.
It's gradual. So that immediately we'll finish this phase, we'll get to the next phase.
These ones that you've started.
Yes.
What started to completing it?
Yeah, the contractors are.
What did you also take into cognizance?
Yes.
The issue of the price shifts that caused a lot of setback on some of these. The ones in.
You know,
witness setback on projects.
No, we'll review. Immediately if it's called for review, certainly.
The reviews are getting late. They're usually taking a lot of time.
No. There are some things that we need to actually understand. It's not that, okay, a project was actually given today, and then immediately the project got reviewed, and quickly reviewed immediately. No, we need to study. Because the price fluctuation, at times it can move up, at times it can still come down.
Right.
So that until we assess this, when the price is now stable, that's like the officers.
I'm looking at the governor flagging off. The governor flagged off a 1,000-meter concrete walkway at Obela. Is also under a purview.
Yes, that's
is that directly of that area?
Directly under Osrc. But yes, we are as well involved. That's part. It's part of it. It's part of it. For example, I said something the other time, considering the amount of money that will be involved in this, that aspect we need to actually put flyover.
The special advisor to the governor on the Obele estate, where potholes have finished the road. That's the message they're also getting as feedback.
Obele estate, we are not coming to fix potholes in Obele. Obele will require rehabilitation and asphalt overlay.
When is that coming up? Is it part of the ones that have been listed initiated already?
Look at that. It's not part of this one that we already initiated. That's why I said the other time, the volume of infrastructure deficit is too much. So that gradually we'll be facing there. Let's first of all get through with the first phase. By the time we get through with the first phase, which I mentioned here, is the numbers of those projects is more than about more than 40. More than 40. I'm not talking about location, a different location, more than 40. So that by the time we get through on that,
Ondo State on infrastructure, lands and housing. Joseph Babalola speaking to us on Road Revolution Initiative in Ondo State. He's been able to touch on a lot of things, but of course the yearnings from the people remain. Government attending to their area, and of course the conversation as to is government also taking look of what determines how critical some of these roads, how soon or how critical some of these roads should be delivered. Are they following basis of the needs of the people? But we must really appreciate you, Pastor. You say I should include Pastor Joseph Babalola.
I'm Joseph Babalola.
Of course, the special advisor to the governor on infrastructure, lands and housing. And we hope that we'll continue to keep us abreast with what the government is doing, and of course we continue to give you feedback, because
no problem.
some of these issues
I appreciate you. God bless you.
That's the size of State of the States for this edition. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. And of course, we hope that in a way you also help government do some of what it intends to do. My name is Sahid Aribisala. Join us next week for another edition of